What if you could get more speaking gigs, feel healthier, and get more sex? Let me reveal the secret to this, which is raw optimism. I'm not talking about the delusional, happy, clappy optimism that you may be familiar with, which is over the top, which is fake, and quite frankly, we can see through it. My friend Joe is a delusional, happy, clappy optimist. And the kinds of things I hear him say often are, oh my God, I'm going to win the lottery any moment soon. And next year, I'm going to have that yacht and that private jet. I just know it's going to happen. Or he says, I can carry on doing no exercise, eating those burgers and chips, smoking 40 a day. It's not going to affect me. I'm special. I'm different. I don't know why everyone else is so negative. Raw optimism is different. Raw optimism is authentic. It's real. It's based on converting your failures into feedback so it can make a difference to your life. Now, Nikki, when she said I'm a recovering pessimist, she was right. Imagine this. It's 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning in a freezing month of January. My friend Thomas, he's from Finland, and he thinks it'll be a brilliant idea to go and dip in an ice-cold freshwater lake, like he used to do in Helsinki, except now he lives in Watford. And I agreed. So there I am on the edge of this lake, and he jumps in and jumps out, and he's dripping wet, and he looks exhilarated. I'm standing there with my black slippers, my black robe, and my tight black trunks. And I'm thinking, I'm in a black mood right now. He looks me straight in the eye and he says, it's now or never, Dev. It's now or never. In my head, the voice is saying, you must be mad. You're going to drown, Dev. You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to freeze your nuts off. And then something changes. I shift that voice inside my head and I start focusing on the vision of how it's going to feel as soon as I've overcome this challenge. And I jump in. And it feels incredible. I feel that rush of energy going through my body and I feel like I've just overcome. Even though it's a small challenge, for me, it's enormous. A few weeks later, I overcome an even bigger challenge. I'm asked, with 1 day's notice, to step into a conference in front of hundreds of my colleagues and senior leaders. And the same voice is going through my head. You're going to be shit. I don't think you should do it. You can back out, be sick, do anything. And then I challenge myself. I say it's now or never. And I go for it. See, raw optimism inspires action. It maximizes your potential. And it needs the right foundations to grow. It's built on everyday successes that build up and create a chain reaction. In September 2008, I had the good fortune to meet Sir Trevor McDonald at the BBC when I worked there as an organizational psychologist. He said the most powerful experience he'd ever had in his career was when he interviewed Nelson Mandela. 27 years in prison, and Trevor McDonald gets the chance to be the first person to ask him, how did it feel? How did it feel to be imprisoned for all those years, all that unjust punishment? And you know what Mandela said? Do you know? He said his hope for South Africa was greater than the torment he received from his captors. You see, Mandela's vision was more powerful. Rather than focus on the nightmare, he focused on the dream. He inspired action. Now let me share with you some of the scientific research in the area. Optimists, on average, live for 10 years longer than pessimists. Optimists are seen as more attractive to the opposite sex, sometimes to the same sex. In relationships where you have at least one optimist, they stay together by 63% longer than two pessimists together. Interesting. I know why you're laughing. Optimists outsell pessimists over a 2-year period by 57%. Now just imagine for yourself, what difference could that make to your speaking career? How many more gigs could you get booked on, given some of those stats? How much more attractive will you come across to the people in the audience, or maybe to your partner back home? Now you may be wondering, how do I choose to become a raw optimist? It's quite clear it's a good idea, but how do you do it? I'm just going to give you one tip. We all have cycles, not just women, which is what my wife tells me every day. These are called ultradian rhythms. Ultradian rhythms are cycles of high and low energy and high energy that we go through every 90 minutes, day or night. And we're supposed to take, the research says, to build our raw optimism, to take a break in between those particular rhythms. Now the question is, when we're under stress, do we ignore that urge? Do we keep going? Do we keep fighting and working hard and working on that speech, working on that workshop? Or worse still, we take a break and what do we do instead? We digest mental junk food. We obsessively use the internet, the TV, or on the phone. So I ask you, what about taking a positive micro break to build your raw optimism, to put yourself in a place where you really rejuvenate, relax, and re-energize? Put yourself in a position where you can get the very best from yourself. And that small success that you do every single day will build up and create a shift in attitude, a mindset shift that will give you the strength to overcome the challenges that you face as a professional speaker. Raw optimism has made a massive difference to my life and my career. It's affected the way in which I've dealt with my father getting cancer and dying at home 7 days to live. It's helped me to overcome a changing career, leaving PwC to study as a psychologist again, and then redefining who I am. It's helped me to get through innumerable challenges. So, raw optimism can inspire action. It can maximize your potential, and it can get you more sex.